Mind where you're going.
Greetings.
The innkeeper said something went down at the tavern.
Nothing serious. We just kicked those human scum out of the place. But the thing is, I'd sleep better knowing someone made sure they don't come back ever again.
Someone like me?
What an idea! At least you'd show you're worth your salt. After what you pulled last time, your reputation could use a bit of polishing.
I'll have to think about it.
You don't have to think about anything. Either you're with us or against us.
But when are you going to pay me back?
I know. It's always on my mind. I promise, you'll have it back this time next week.
Praise God.
But you know how it is. It's easy to forget.
Believe me, it keeps me up at night, but I just can't give it back right now.
Look, why don't you drop by and we can talk about it?
You pervert.
Oh, no. That's not what I meant.
I know exactly.
Hail, good man.
I can't believe my ears.
God be with you.
And with you. How about taking a break? Rest those legs and try your wits instead.
I'll be with you. The witch sneak.
Come on, don't be shy. I won't bite.
That's a relief. What were you going to offer me?
Curiosity killed the cat. No shame in that, though. They call me Barley.
You just wander the world.
Exactly. Never a dull day so far.
You have a peculiar name.
If I were ordinary, well, that's just another way of saying boring. And boring's not for me. So I wander the roads collecting my riddles, and if I meet anyone I find interesting, I'll happily work a riddle on them.
A riddle? Very well. Let's hear it.
Now, listen carefully. What belongs to you alone, but is used more often by others? Any idea?
Certainly. Have no fear.
My name.
That's right! You have a learned head on those shoulders. The robes of a priest would suit you better than a sword.
They really wouldn't, I assure you.
More's the pity. But down to business. I have a proposition for you. You deserve a reward for solving my riddle. Except, you've caught me flat broke. I can give you some of what little I have. Or teach you some of what I know. What'll it be?
I'm always up for learning something new. What can you teach me?
I spend my days on the roads and my nights in the taverns. What interests you more?
Tell me about your experience on the road.
You can't beat a sturdy pair of shoes and a good supply of wine or ale with you. And keep an eye on the clouds. They can tell you if a big storm is brewing and whether you'll have time to find some shelter.
I'll bear that in mind.
And you'll stay dry. Farewell!
It's filthy again. Damn it. Christ, so much to do.
Jesus Christ be praised. God be with you. Maybe you'll complain. An ale, as usual. Hail.
like to discuss the price.
All right, I'm listening.
Satisfied?
Look, offer a bit more and we can make a deal.
All right. How about now?
Well, if you offer a little bit more, we can make a deal. Very well then. Thank you kindly, and come again, friend.
I heard you could use a helping hand at the forge.
I could. My last two hands, well, they're not worth mentioning. And what with the wedding coming up, the work is piling up. What do they call you?
Henry.
I'm Radovan. You should know, Henry. The blacksmithing isn't for everyone. Have you done it before?
Yeah. I basically grew up in the forge. My father was a swordsmith, and not just any. He even forged swords for the nobility.
For the nobility, eh? Well, that kind of experience will come in very handy for me indeed. As it happens, I have to forge a wedding present for young Lord Semine. A fine sword.
So you'll take me on?
Hold your horses. I'll have to try you out first. You could forge me a hunting sword as a test, so I can see if you can make a straight blade. That shouldn't give you much trouble if your father was a swordsmith, should it?
Sure thing. I can get started right away.
Great. Find some iron and get started then.
Iron?
You can't make a sword out of butter, but if you don't have your own stuff, you can get everything from the chest in my forge. Go over to the anvil and let's get started. Stop faffing about and get the things from the chest. Furnace is cold now. Give it a practice try. Some things, like swords, are too long to fit in the fire. You have to heat it up a bit like this and try poking it around for a bit. Now get the furnace nice and hot. There's a lever above you. Give it a pull. It works the bellows. You can tell the temperature by the color, but you won't be able to tell when it's in the fire. You have to take it out from time to time and take a look. Try it out. See? That's exactly the straw color we want. You've got talent, lad. Now heat up the whole thing. The whole thing is heated up now, so come over to the anvil. Try moving the sword along the anvil so you can get the hang of it. Now take the hammer and try hitting it a few times. See the sparks? That's a sign of a good strike. The more sparks, the better. Also, you can hammer with different degrees of power. A stronger hit will do more, but it'll tire you out faster. Try giving it a few blows, as hard as you can, so I can see how strong you are. That's got a nice ring to it. Of course, if it was all about hitting an anvil with a hammer, any dolt could do it. You've got to hammer the workpiece evenly. One hit next to the other. Very nice. You're doing just fine. But when I say evenly, I mean it. A sword has two sides, like a lot of other things, including myself. Turn it over and continue on the other side. Nice. Now try forging it on both sides. The closer it is to being finished, the more it will take on the shape you want. It'll cool off soon anyway. It's cooled now. You can't do it all in one go. You've got to put it back in the furnace from time to time. Sometimes you've got to go there and back all day. But it's all part of the craft. Now, get back to the forge and heat it all up again, like before. The whole thing is heated up now, so come over to the anvil. Besides the sparks, you can tell a good strike by the sound it makes. That's the ring you want. See how it's taking on the right shape? That's how you can tell it's almost finished. Now, I've got a piece of advice for you. Hammer to a rhythm. When I hammer a piece to a beat, the work goes by easier. Sometimes I'll whistle to myself to keep the rhythm going. Nice whistling. It's easier to forge to a river. There you go. You've got it finished. All that's left is to temper it, and the sword will be done. The rest is just tweaking. Right, let's have a look. Very nice work. Your father taught you the trade well.
He'd certainly be happy to hear that.
If you carry on hammering as well as you did today, you've definitely got a job here. Even so, keep in mind, it's all about making sure every strike does its job. That's why you can't let it get cold, or keep striking the same spot. If you work evenly, each strike falling right next to the last one, You can't go wrong. Got that? Or is there something else you want to ask about?
What good does it do me to whistle while I work?
It makes you work to a rhythm. You won't get tired so quickly, and the iron feels it.
How do I know a good strike from a bad one?
By the sparks that fly up, and by the ring. It rings out with a different sound when you do it right.
What's the right way to heat up the workpiece?
Do it till it turns the color of straw. Ideally, the color should be the same everywhere, if your forging's going to be even. The main thing is, don't work it cold. You just ruin it. But don't overheat it either. As soon as sparks start to fly off it in the furnace, take it out.
Why should I forge evenly?
If you keep hammering the same spot, you'll never finish it. You'll just fuck it up. But jumping from one end to the other ain't a good idea neither. You'd end up working unevenly. The best thing to do is aim each strike next to the one before.
How will I know it's finished?
Notice the shape. The closer you are to finishing, the more precise the shape it will have.
Thanks. That's all I need to know.
You can sleep in the chamber by the woodshed. And there's a chest where you can keep your things. And of course, you can use the forge anytime you want. Any questions?
Where can I get materials?
You can buy some essentials from me. But if you want to make a fancy sword with lots of ornamentation, you'll have to look elsewhere. This is just a village, you know. The locals ain't after luxury. They can't afford it neither.
What can I do with the items I've forged?
Well, you can sell them, though you probably won't have much luck around here. But I'll happily buy some of the nicer things from you.
Where exactly is my bed?
At the side of the house. There are 2 doors and a wheelbarrow between them. You go in by the rear door, next to the woodshed, and you can put your things in the chest there. Don't worry, nobody will steal them.
What now?
What do you think? You're not going to be idle. I'll find you some work to do right away. You're pretty good at swords, but what the locals really need is axes and horseshoes. Right, here are some simple drawings that show what they're both supposed to look like. And some iron. You can get down to it right away.
Just like that? You aren't going to help me?
Sacre, lad. I chose you because you already know a thing or two. I'm not going to look over your shoulder all bloody day. You take care of these smaller jobs. Forge away as long as you're able, and then sell it all. Once you've made some coin and feel like being out in the open again, I'll give you some more interesting work.
business here. I never want to see you here again without permission.
Ah, well, what can you do? Oh, well then. What's that? Oh, it's just you, eh? Ah.
Put some clothes on. You can't just go walking about like this.
Aye. Right away. What's new around here?
You should pay a visit to Old Mouth sometime. He's our local storyteller, you know. He could tell you all sorts of interesting things, but only if you bring him some liquor. Don't forget, I have some here to sell, if you want. And that's all I'd say.
Sounds interesting. Thank you, innkeeper. You having problems with the Jelievites?
Not just me, my friend. They're the biggest bastards around. They've been nothing but trouble for years. The winter before last, they piled snow in front of everyone's doors at night, so no one could get out of their house. And last year, they broke into my cellar and pissed in my beer barrel.
Gracious. I hope you got your aim back on them.
Not yet, no. But since you're here, I've got a plan you could help me out with. I'd pay you well. You can count on that.
What exactly would you like me to do?
Don't worry. I won't make you do any shoveling or pissing anything. But I'll tell you exactly what I have in mind, only after you promise to help me. I'd hate to reveal my plan, only for you to go off and tell the Jelievites right away.
All right. I'll help you.
Listen up then. Old Albram, the owner of the biggest plot of land in Jelioff, has this beautiful bull. White as snow he is, the finest animal far and wide. Obviously, he's very proud of it. Very protective too. Now you, will give his beautiful snow-white bull a nice new coat of paint. Albram is going to lose his mind. Simple, right?
Painting a bull, eh? That sounds like fun.
Right. We just have to work out a few details. First, we have to get some paint. I don't reckon we'll be able to get any here in the village, but you can try and ask Bartoszek, the tailor in Trotskovitz. I hear he dyes his own fabric. And after that, we'll have to make sure the bull stays still while you're painting it. Try asking Radovan, the local blacksmith. I hear he can make some kind of sleeping potion. If you pour it in the bull's water trough, I'm sure it'll do the trick. But watch out. That beast is enormous. You'd better put at least 3 doses of the potion in there.
All right then. Albrum's bull will be getting a new coat of paint.
Albrum's going to lose his mind. I can't wait. And remember, it's supposed to be a joke. If you get caught or something goes wrong, the whole thing will be ruined.
Right. So I need paint, sleeping potions, and to not get caught. Why do you and the Zhelyaoff lot hate each other so much, anyway?
It's their fault. They keep playing tricks on us. Albrum's the worst of them all. The nasty old codger. He's always coming up with ways to mess with us. He's the one that stole our pasture.
What pasture did they steal from you?
The one that stretches from the orchard behind the Takov down to the gamekeeper's lodge. It's been ours since time immemorial. But the Zhelyaovites took it from us.
Then how did they take it from you? You can't exactly stuff a pasture in your purse and walk away with it.
Save the jokes, will you? This is fucking serious. There's a tree down by the gamekeeper's lodge that marks the edge of our land. My father, God rest his soul, was there when they agreed on it. He got a proper arse-kicking so he'd remember it. And remember it he did. But then fucking Albrum came along, claiming it was the other way around. And that pasture belonged to Zhelyaoff.
Well, that's a tough nut to crack. Then how did they take it from you? You can't exactly stuff a pasture in your purse and walk away with it.
Save the jokes, will you? This is fucking serious. There's a tree down by the gamekeeper's lodge that marks the edge of our land. My father, God rest his soul, was there when they agreed on it. He got a proper arse-kicking so he'd remember it. And remember it he did. But then fucking Albrum came along, claiming it was the other way around. And that pasture belonged to Zhelyaoff.
Well, that's a tough nut to crack. Have you tried asking Lord von Burgos for help?
Of course, but he'd have none of it. He said it's up to the Trotskovitz bailiff to sort it out. But the bailiff couldn't care less. He said we should deal with Albrum ourselves, or he'll have us caned and clapped in the pillory.
What's new around here?
Nothing new. It's quiet here, fortunately. What? Oh, it's just you, eh? Aha.
Thanks. I need something that'll put animals to sleep. Project said you might know something.
Did you get tired of blacksmithing and take up? I just happen to know it. I used a concoction that will put even a startled mare to sleep in no time. I once accidentally drank some and slept for 3 days. But the recipe is an old blacksmith's secret. The kind you don't just give away. You're in the trade, so I can tell you. Listen up then. You take some poppy and thistle and boil them in oil. Then, after it cools off, you add a little herb Paris.
That doesn't sound too complicated. Thank you.
How can I help you today, friend?
I'm still not really sure of myself in the forge.
Why not? Better, why don't you forge me another hunting sword?
Yeah, I have.
Let's see what you can... Get to it. I want to see how you... fair. Furnace is cold now. Give it a practice try. Some things, like swords, are too long to fit in the fire. You have to heat it up bit by bit. Try poking it around for a bit. Now get the furnace nice and hot. There's a lever above it. Give it a pull. Works a bellow. You can tell the temperature by the colour, but you won't be able to tell when it's in the fire. You have to take it out from time to time and take a look. Try it out. The whole thing is heated up now, so come over to the anvil. Try moving the sword along the anvil so you can get the hang of it. Now take the hammer and try hitting it a few times. See the sparks? That's the sign of a good strike. The more sparks, the better. Also, you can hammer with different degrees of power. A stronger hit will do more, but it'll tire you out faster. Try giving it a few blows, as hard as you can, so I can see how strong you are. That's got a nice ring to it. Of course, if it was all about hitting an anvil with a hammer, any dolt could do it. You've got to hammer the workpiece evenly. One hit next to the other. Very nice. You're doing just fine. But when I say evenly, I mean it. A sword has two sides, like a lot of other things, including myself. Turn it over and continue on the other side. Nice. Now try forging it on both sides. The closer it is to being finished, the more it will take on the shape you want. It'll cool off soon anyway. It's cooled now. You can't do it all in one go. You've got to put it back in the furnace from time to time. Sometimes you've got to go there and back all day. But it's all part of the craft. Now, get back to the forge and heat it all up again, like before. over to the anvil. That's the ring you want. Well struck. See how it's taking on the right shape? That's how you can tell it's almost finished. Now, I've got a piece of advice for you. Hammer to a rhythm. When I hammer a piece to a beat, the work goes by easier. Sometimes I'll whistle to myself to keep the rhythm going. There you go. You've got it finished. All that's left is to temper it, and the sword will be done. The rest is just tweaking.
I'd like to discuss the price.
Sure. Why not?
Is this enough?
That sounds really interesting. Lower your price a little more, and I'll be satisfied.
You're bleeding me dry, you know that?
That sounds really interesting. Lower your price a little more, and I'll be... Aye, you'll convince me with that price. Pleasure doing business. Take care. What would you like? It's about those two idiot hands of mine, Venser and Franzi. They drove off with a cart full of goods towards Semin, and they never came back.
Do you want me to find them?
Just so. But more importantly, I want to know where my cart ended up, and especially the cargo. Go to Semin and find out what the bloody hell happened.
Have you any idea which way they might have gone? I could have a look along the way. Maybe their cart broke down or something.
There's only one road to Semin that can take a cart. It leads from Takov to Troskovitz, and then to the south. But I've got a bad feeling they got up to no good in Semin.
Have you any idea which way?
There's only one, but I've got a...
Those two hands of yours, Venser and Franzi, what can you tell me about them?
Can't tell you much. They're wandering laborers. I don't think they wanted to stay here with me for long, but these days I can use all the help I can get.
Were they suspicious in any way?
No, they worked hard. They ain't no slackers. And I can't say that about everyone.
What was the cart carrying?
Bugger and bollocks. All sorts of stuff. I'd say Lord Semin wants to rearm his garrison with new equipment. There were some hunting swords, bastard swords, crossbow bolts. I also fixed the trigger on young Semin's crossbow, and some kitchen stuff. Sacks of charcoal, all sorts of things. There's a good month's work in that cartload.
All right, I'll get right on it then.
Go ahead. And if you find that pair of fools drunk, kick their asses for me.
Gladly. I'll kick some sobriety into them. Can I ask you about that cart?
What is it you need to know?
All right. I'm on my way.
Time's wasting. What can I do for you?
What do you have for sale? Word about the price.
All right, I'm listening.
Do you accept?
Look, offer a bit more and we can make a deal. Aye, you'll convince me with that price. Hope you'll be satisfied, my friend.
God bless you.
Good to see you.
God be with you. How's the watch going?
Not bad. So far.
What?
God bless.
Would you repair a few things for me?
Excellent. It's a pleasure doing business with you. Take care.
I'd like to discuss the price.
Sure. Why not?
Satisfied?
You really won't convince me like this.
Do we have a deal?
Look, offer a bit more and we can make a deal. Finally, a reasonable sum. I hope you'll be satisfied, my friend.
I've heard you dye your own fabric.
I used to. I tried a few times, but I had to give it up. Troskovitz is on a hill, and there's not enough water for that. Why'd you ask?
I'd like to buy some pigment.
I see. Well, perhaps I could find some leftover black. If you have enough groschen, it's yours.
Ah, damn. That's more money than I thought. Look, I don't need much. Just a bit will do.
Is that so? What do you want it for, anyway?
Nothing important, really.
All right, whatever. But I'd hate to find out you painted on someone's house. You know what? If I scraped off some of that dry pigment from the edges of the bucket and mixed it with some lard, that could work. Those pigments are a magical thing, eh?
What do you mean?
For example, if you need blue, you can use blueberries or woad leaves. You put them in hot water with the fabric and it'll turn blue. Walnuts good too. With the husks of unripe walnuts, you can get a very nice light brown, sometimes even yellow. The best way to make red is from madder root. And when you add alum or beeswing to the water, the colour gets a beautifully rich shade. Or you could just use plain old black elder. The berries, of course, but they're more for lighter shades. Oh, and privet's not too bad either. If you use its bark and alum, you get yellow. You can even use the leaves. They make a nice green, but it takes forever. But you know what's my favourite way of making yellow? Using dyer's broom or weld. You take a few nice stems, some leaves, a bit of alum, and you get yellow, as bright as a chick's feathers. And for so much cheaper than using saffron or iris, that's the main thing. Buckthorn makes a nice green, maybe the best of all. You use its fruit. They say it can also heal, but I've never tried that. The most important part is the stain anyway. Like alum, for example. It can create all sorts of shades and give depth and richness to the colour. But even that won't help you if you don't know what to use for what colour. Sometimes you want the fruit, sometimes the bark, sometimes the root, or maybe the leaves. Too bad I don't dye fabric much anymore, but I see you're really into it. You know what? Take some of it for free.
My word. Thank you so much.
Oh, not worth mentioning. Just be careful not to stain yourself. Quality material like this doesn't wash off easily.
Don't cause any trouble. Got it?
Greetings, Master Guard.
Greetings.
What did I do to you?
Hey, get out of here before I slice you to ribbons.
Let's just take him out. Stop messing around.
I won't let you stay here, even with a weapon. Clear. Stop, Brunella. Now we'll do it the hard way. You're going to get your ass kicked. Do it!
Go fuck yourself. Show what you're made of. Show your stuff.
Do it!
Show what you're made of.
I'm all yours. We're gonna gut you, you whore son. Christ, what do you want?
I'll be you some bloody bum, fucker! Show your stuff.
Oh, rip your arse open. Fuck you.
What do you want?
Show your stuff. We're gonna gut you, you whore son.
All yours. Had enough? Hand over all your money, and maybe I'll let you go.
Wait. Let's just talk it over, eh?
What the hell is there to talk about? I think I made myself...
I'll pay. Take it all.
What? This handful of... In that case, I think I'll...
Take that! I'll rip your arse open!
Calm down. I surrender.
Die.
Take that! I'll rip your arse open!
What do you want?
Now you're finished! Show your stuff!
You won't surrender.
My God! It's a slaughterhouse!
So I says to him, "No, father, I haven't been fornicating. I've just been loving my neighbour."
Hey! You alright there, laddie?
Oh, you should have seen him. He went as late as a cardinal's hat. Aye. Hey, servant, bring some wine.
Me? I'm not a servant.
Oh, I know. Old Samine is saving supplies for the wedding later. But you didn't need to bother your wee head about that.
Look, I'm not from here.
Oh. I didn't give a fuck what you're frae. You speak our language, do you not?
Well, Yurko, seems to me this fella doesn't know how to behave toward his betters.
The old man's hired hands are lacking in manners. We'll soon fix that. Now you're gonna die. Come on. Oh, you wee
What
bastard!
in the devil's name is fucking going on here?
What do you think's going on, Grandad? I'm teaching your people here how we do things.
Grandad?
Why, Grandad? An old captain like you probably still remember the flood.
True enough, Yurko. I am old. And I remember all sorts of things. Like you. When you were a little nipper running around here bare arse, with a ribbon in your hair, screaming out how you was Princess Sophie. Poor lad, hadn't a moment's peace from his big sisters.
What about that wine?
Who in God's name are you?
Henry. The Takeoff blacksmith sent me. Radovan.
Blacksmith, eh? Then you'll have some explaining to do. Come along and never mind that fool Yurko. Young Samin's getting married, so we has to put up with his kin from Moravia.
We'll be needing a dozen geese. And I must tell Vashek to get 3 pigs ready for slaughter. And the carters will have to be sent to Yetchin to get at least a peck of poppy seed for cakes. And gingerbread spices. Oh, and wine, too. It's almost all gone, what we bought only last week.
Enter!
Sorry to intrude, sir. This is Henry, Blacksmith Radovan's hand.
Oh, excellent. Dorothy, leave us now. Just make sure that there's plenty of everything so long as it doesn't cost too much.
But, sir...
Not another word! Leave us! So Radovan sent you alone. Who's going to unload it all? It's a whole cartload.
Yeah, Radovan sent me, sir, but not with the goods. The thing is, he's missing his cart, along with the carter in his hands.
What? But they never came here. Are you telling me they got lost?
Well, I couldn't tell you what happened to them, sir, but it's my job to find them.
There are all sorts of vermin roaming the countryside.
Oh, no
sir.
need to imagine the worst right off, gnarly. Anyway, I need the load from that cart, so saddle up your old nag and we'll ride out, Captain. I could do with a breath of fresh air. I've had it up to the eyeballs with counting geese and pies.
What about Henry here, sir?
Well, what about him?
We could use an extra pair of hands. You know how my shoulder's acting up. Yurko is shit-faced, and your son...
The older has work to do. All right, take Henry with you if you want. Just so long as he doesn't slow us down.
Thank you, sir.
So, lad, you going with us? I hope you're happy about it.
Yeah. I'll be glad to help you.
Oh, you reckon we can't manage on our own?
No, that's not how I meant it.
Take it easy, son. I'm only yanking your pizzle. By the way, the fellas at the gate say you came here on foot.
Yeah, I did.
Christ above. And how are you going to ride with us? On the back of my saddle? You're a bit big for that, ain't ya? And I'm a bit too old.
You've got a stud farm here, don't you? Couldn't I borrow one of your horses?
Aye. And then we'd never see hide nor hair of you, nor the animal again. We don't lend horses. But you're in luck. Our groom brought in a grey nag not long ago. Tell him you've got to ride out with us, and he'll give it to you for a decent price.
All right. Thanks.
Well, that should be that. Unless you've got any more questions.
Actually, there is something I'd like to ask about. This Yurko and his mates, who are they?
They're Lord Samin's kin. They're fine as long as they don't get too much booze inside them.
Only they're from Moravia, so they're never far from the booze.
But what can I tell you, lad? Each to himself. Besides, they stick with the family when push comes to shove. And you can't say that about everyone.
And you, sir? What is it you do?
Well, son, I wonder if I haven't made a mistake about you. If you haven't figured me out by now, you can't be very bright.
No, I just meant, what exactly is it you do for Lord Semin? And your name isn't exactly very common.
I'm the captain here, and I'm sure I don't have to tell you what a captain does. As for my name, it's a nickname Lord Samin's grandpa gave me. May he rest in peace. When I joined his service as a young fella, I took my gnarly club with me. Wouldn't use anything else. I was used to it. And more than once helped me to, win an argument. I broke many a hard skull with it. And it's still in one piece. We've been together so long, we even share the same name.
You're lucky you didn't turn out to be Captain Knob.
Or Captain Headcracker. You're right.
I'd like to go and see that wedding.
Wouldn't we all, lad? And what would you do there?
I'd eat and drink my fill and check out the local maidens.
I hope Lord Sameen didn't hear you. He'd be none too pleased to hear you want to take part in such a grand affair, just to stuff your face and roll an A with some drunken wench.
I beg your pardon, Captain, but that's what most fellas go to weddings for.
That's an unspoken truth, son. Unspoken, mind. Anyways, you're Radovan's hand, ain't ya? He'll be coming to the wedding. He's making a wedding gift for the groom. Stick with him, and maybe he'll take you with him.
We should probably get going.
My thoughts exactly. Off to the courtyard, then.
Keep the peace, and we won't have any problems.
Greetings.
Don't cause any trouble. Got it? Take care then.
Wait, that's my Pebbles, my girl. I thought they killed you down by that pond.
Not to mention the cost of the whole affair.
Well, I heard if it wasn't for Bailiff Thrush, Samin'd never have the coin for it.
Well, it's only fair he should help out. It is his daughter, after all. He should be glad he's marrying her off to a noble family.
To an impoverished noble family.
Ah, that's just village gossip. Late lies. I don't know. You know how it is. No smoke without fire.
Good day. God grant you health. Greetings to you. Good day.
Take care then, and thanks for nothing. What would you like?
That grey horse you have grazing here is mine.
What do you mean, yours? I bought it fair and square. I admit, it was only for a few groschen from some suspicious lad who found it down by the Rock Tower Pond, but that horse is not branded, so it belongs to me now.
Look, you know they attacked an entourage by that pond, right?
I heard about it. That news spread through the land like wildfire.
And the one who sold it to you told you he found it by the pond, right?
Well, he did, aye.
So it's not entirely impossible she belonged to me.
Maybe not impossible, but I paid for her.
Aye, but just a few groschen. You said so yourself. Wouldn't you rather be in the good graces of someone who might have been part of that expedition?
Maybe so. All right, I'll give her to you. But you owe me one. Go and get her then. If she remembers you, she might even come when you whistle for her. May she serve you well.
What are you whistling for?
Slowly. Nice and slow.
A nag like this couldn't have cost more than 10 groschen and a stale loaf of bread.
Yes? Keep the peace, and we won't have any problem.
Greetings, Master Guard.
Greetings to you. How can I help?
Good day to you.
What's it like serving Lord Semi?
Well, I can't complain. And why would I? The old lord's such a good sort. I hardly ever get the chance to hand out a thrashing. And his son, older, well, he's just your typical young lord. He enjoys life, rides through the forests and hunts.
Does Older go to the tournaments? Does he know how to fight?
He's really good with weapons. Captain Gnarly trained him well, but he's never been to a tournament, as far as I know. His father kept him on a short leash, so he could take care of the estate and not go gallivanting all over the place.
We were attacked by bandits recently by the pond. Do you know anything about them?
I heard about that. And if you were there, you were lucky to make it out with your life. It never used to be like this. It was sleepy as fuck. But the woods have become a dangerous place in the last few months. And there's more than poachers depriving the wolves of prey, and nomads thieving like magpies.
Why didn't you drive out those nomads ages ago?
Like I said, our old lord is a good man and has a soft heart.
So he won't do it?
He won't. In fact, he recently got into an argument with the Troskovitz bailiff, Thrush. I reckon Thrush would string them all up outright if he had the chance. Fortunately, the only gallows are at Trotsky, and only Burgrave Harshek decides who to hang.
What's the Trotsky Burgrave Hashek like?
Quite stern and tough. He hasn't been taking any shit as of late, all because of those attacks and the bandits in the woods.
So he's in charge of taking care of those cutthroats?
Of course. As the Castle Burgrave, he's in charge of the safety in the region.
I'd like to find those bandits and get revenge from my dead friends.
I'm not surprised, but be careful. We can't be everywhere, and even my lads aren't keen on going in the woods. What's worse, those rocks of ours here make it a bloody maze. We could be searching for cutthroats in there till Judgment Day.
I'm looking for a friend of mine. A tall, fair-haired...
Doesn't ring a bell. See you soon, my friend.
Praise the Lord.
So, how did it end up with that missing cart?
Sorry, lad, but I don't have time to chat. Go and ask Gnarly if you're interested. He'll tell you everything.
Till we meet again.
Jesus Christ be praised.
Don't cause any trouble, got it?
Cheers. I hope you have an uneventful shift.
God bless.
Greetings to you, friend.
You're in for an ass kicking, you pig. I'm a nobleman. You have to.
Henry, what the hell happened here?
I attacked the camp. Yes, sir. Alone.
We'll finish this quickly.
I suppose I got lucky, sir.
You did a good job, youngster. You've got heart.
Thank you, sir.
Don't thank me, you deserved it. And now, let's get that accursed cart back to Sameen. Want a ride?
A ride would be great. My legs are sore.
Wait until you're my age. Well, let's get going. Henry, what the hell happened here?
I attacked the camp.
Alone?
Yes, sir. Alone.
God almighty, are you a madman? There were at least 5 of them, for Christ's sake.
I suppose I got lucky, sir.
You did a good job, youngster. You've got heart. And so you don't say I had you clamoring up.
Thank you, sir.
Don't thank me, you deserve. We'll go via Troskovitz. You ought to report.
A ride would be great.
Henry!
Yes, sir.
And so...
Thank you, sir.
Don't thank me. We'll go via... You ought to...
A ride...
Ja!
Ja! Quick! Go! Ka! Quick! Go! Ka! Ka! Quick! Quick! Just a bit further.
Ave Maria.
So, job done. The cart was found and driven to Lord Semeen's courtyard.
Whew. That's a relief. And what happened to that pair of idiots?
It turned out they tried to rob you.
Oh. They did they?
Aye. They plotted with some robber baron called Gules and brought the cart to him.
The bastards. I should have realized they were a bit too keen on work. And how did you get the cart back?
Well, I tracked down the cart, routed the band of thieves, and handed the cart over to Lord Semeen.
Bugger and bollocks! Who in God's name have I employed? Shouldn't you be in some other line of work?
Nah, I just got lucky.
And I enjoy working in the smithy, don't worry.
What about my hands? How did they end up?
Venser didn't survive the skirmish in Gules' camp. And Franzi, they took him to Semine. He might have been innocent in the whole thing.
I wouldn't be too sure about that. They were only here a while, but that pair was as thick as, well, thieves. And that Franzi could talk his way out from under the executioner's axe.
We'll see. Either way, it's Lord Semine's concern now.
Anyway, the main thing is the cart turned up. I'd be in a right mess if it didn't.
No doubt.
And you've earned a reward for your trouble. I've got just the thing for you. Some mercenary once had his cuirass repaired here, but never came back for it. Who knows what happened to him? So now it's yours. It's been through a bit, but it'll still serve for a while.
Thanks. It'll come in handy. And have you got another job for me?
Young Lord Semine's wedding is coming up, and it's got my head spinning. Look, you must have seen Agnes, the bailiff's daughter, when you were in Truskovitz. What do you think of her?
I haven't seen Agnes. Is she pretty?
Pretty doesn't do her justice. She's a beauty. But she's got such a sharp tongue on her that I don't envy older at all. And how about you, lad? Have you got some lass waiting in Sasau?
No, Master Blacksmith. There's no one waiting to drag me to the old Turin irons.
Good for you, lad. Have your fun while you can. No need to hurry. A wedding's a serious business. You're not just getting a bride, but a whole family. So you have to show them you're a man who's worth it. All the more so when you're noble born. Old Semyon wants a special sword forged for his son's wedding present.
Excellent. So what are we waiting for? Should we get to work?
Hold your horses. It can't be any old steel. This has to be a first-class job.
A blade of first-class steel?
That's right. And that's just the problem.
Ah, I see. We don't have any welded steel for that kind of sword, do we?
God's nails. You really know your stuff, youngster. And you're right. We don't have the steel for a strong sword that won't break.
I'd like to know where you're going to get your hands on some welded steel.
Relax, lad. I've got it all figured out, as it happens. There's this old hermit called Ambrose, living in Apollonia.
And he can pray for us?
God's nails, let me finish talking. The word is, he was fighting heathens years ago in faraway Andalusia, and folks say they saw this interesting broken sword in his hut. From the description, it seems our peculiar hermit has a real Toledo blade.
Welded Spanish steel? There's nothing better for a sword.
See now? You do understand. But there's a catch.
Naturally.
They say that Ambrose the Hermit has changed a lot recently. People from far and wide used to go to him for remedies and blessings. But now he won't see no one. I even heard he made a pact with the devil. And there have been other strange goings-on.
What strange goings-on?
I heard something in the tavern about some apparition, but that's all I know.
With the devil? Why would the hermit make a pact with the devil?
No idea. It might just be old wives' tales.
Where can I find the hermit?
Do I look like someone who goes to a hermit for advice? I know he has a hut somewhere in Apollonia, but you'll have to ask the Truskovitz womenfolk if you want to know more.
Right. I'll try to find out more about the hermit's sword. But in return, you'll get me invited to Semine's wedding.
If it means so much to you, why not? Come and see Betty from the Truskovitz tavern. She knows all the gossip. She'll definitely tell you more about the hermit. But Henry, if there's any truth in that pact with the devil, don't get caught up in it. The best sword in the world isn't worth eternal damnation.
God be with you.
Good day.